Hi, it's Pastor Paul L. Anderson here at the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, where we believe God's blessings never stop flowing. Can you believe it? It is Saturday, Satisfaction Saturday. We're right into the weekend of what we will call Palm Sunday, and we're just so grateful how God is leading us and propelling us as we go into this time. I hope you and I can always be thankful and pause and look where God has brought us from. You know, every Saturday I try to do some reflection to see what has happened in the past week, and God, what am I supposed to be doing differently? Am I hearing you? Am I hearing you correctly? What should I be doing differently? I think that's a message for all of us. And today there's a message for all of us that comes out of Leviticus, the 23rd chapter, verses 1 through 8. This talks about the appointment of festivals. Now we find the life of the people of God, the Israelites, those who were the Hebraic people. God tells them, because of all that has happened to you in your life, I want to establish something with you, this festival. This is a festival. This is a time that they began to celebrate the Passover and the festival of unleavened bread. This is where Israel begins to think about where God has brought them from. You know, and I think that's why Saturdays is so important. We can look and see where God has brought us from. Israel has to take a moment to see where God has brought them from. Remember, they had been in captivity in Egypt, and how God had allowed them to be captive, but God also provided for them deliverance. This was a group of people that God said, I am going to bless you. I'm going to get you out of here, but I want you to be reminded of what I've done for you. You know, all of us, we need to have lines and places of demarcation, a place in which we will know this is a defining moment. You know, all of us have some defining moments in our lives, but we don't take the opportunity to just live in that defining moment. That defining moment is now what they begin to celebrate, this festival. It's where God has said, you've had 6 days. On the seventh day, I want you to pause. All the ordinary stuff that you've been doing, I want you to stop and take a break. You know, all of us, we do the same thing day in, day out, day in, day out. That's the reason why we should have a break in it all. You know, Sabbath is the seventh day, and we get that moment of rest from the book of Genesis, where it gives us the analogy how God created the heavens and the earth, and how God created all of what we believe to have happened and been created by him. But on the seventh day, he rested. And he teaches us something in there, that you and I need some moments of rest. We need some moments to kick back, some moments to push away and realize what God has done for us. So now they have this feast of unleavened bread, this feast of the Passover. It's a time in which they begin to think about, God, look at where you brought us from. And I just want to say hallelujah, thank you for what you've done. So here in the passage, it lets us see that this is the Lord's Sabbath. It's a day in which they were supposed to have some different time. They were supposed to have this wonderful time of having a solemn assembly where they were called together to celebrate what God had done for them. And so we see this Passover begins. This Passover begins at sundown on the 14th day of the first month. And now it's the 15th day of the month, and they begin to celebrate this festival of the unleavened bread. It's a time in which they begin to continue thinking about all the wonderful things that God has done for them. And this festival continues for 7 days. And during this time, that they were to eat bread that was not made with yeast, so that it wouldn't rise. And so that's where we begin to get that Passover celebration from. And that's why even us in our contemporary times, when we celebrate what we call the Eucharist, the Lord's Supper, communion, notice it's unleavened bread. It's that bread that you and I eat to remind us of our connection with those who are our forebearers, to get us to where we are today. You know, all of us, we need to have some moments in our lives that we push away from the ordinary and we do the extraordinary. We pause. We give God praise. We give him worship. We give him glory. We give him honor. We give him what is due. I can remember as a child, you could almost find nothing hardly open on a Sunday. Pretty much the hospitals. And that was it. And then later on, we started having other entertainment venues to come in, because people just paused from what they did on Sundays. They took a break. I can always think in my mind about watching those TV shows of Mayberry, RFD, and then when you begin to see Opie and Andy and all of them on a Sunday evening, everybody was just sitting on the porch chilling. You know, it reminds all of us, we need some moments, some breaks in our lives where we just sit down and think about nothing but the goodness of the Lord. and to maybe sing some songs of praise and tell them how grateful we are. That's the reason why Sunday morning worship used to be so pivotal and so powerful in all of our lives. It's a moment in which we broke away from all that we were doing. We gave ourselves consecrated and concentrated time and saying, let's go gather with other believers. Let's praise and worship God. Our text on today reminds us how important it is for us to gather together and to celebrate what God has done. I invite you to celebrate with us tomorrow as we celebrate how God has done great things with us, as we all celebrate that Sunday that is known as Palm Sunday. And we'll look forward to telling you more about that on tomorrow. May God bless you. Remind yourself you're exceedingly and abundantly blessed. And this year of 2022, God has a great blessing in store for you. And we'll see you then. God bless you.
To sow a seed to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship, visit our newly redesigned website, thefountainofraleigh.org, and select Sow a Seed from the homepage. Also, giving has been made easier with the new Fountain of Raleigh app, available now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Download today, select Giving from the main menu, and then follow the directions to complete your giving through Subsplash.
Thank you so very much for all of your gifts and donations that you've given to the Fountain of Raleigh Fellowship. We thank you for what you've done in the past, what you're currently doing, and what you will do in the future. Your gifts and donations helps us to spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, not only locally, but throughout the world. Thank you again for your gifts, and may God continue to richly bless you. It is here at the Fountain that we believe that we are exceedingly and abundantly blessed, and may you receive those blessings that God has in store for you.